Hey everybody, I hope you're having a great week. I wanted to talk to you this week about a concept that keeps coming up with clients around what is the best way to keep in touch with your team members especially when you're working remotely, without either annoying the crap out of them or making them feel smothered, or the opposite extreme, making them feel abandoned. So I wrote about this in the blog this week. So if you're looking for more information, a few specific strategies, head on over to the website, check out the latest blog. You can also find it on various social media platforms. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about just some of the steps that I myself try to follow when I'm looking to really consider what's the other person's point of view or perspective. Because really, that's the central question here. When you're trying to figure out the most effective way to communicate with another person, I really think the most important thing you have to evaluate is, how does that person want to be communicated with? So especially when we're still working remotely, many of us, at least on a part-time basis, it's harder, right? It's harder to stay on top of what's happening within a team because we don't have that casual, organic interaction that being in the same office together seems to provide. So, which we've talked about a lot in recent blogs. But, so this central question of thinking about how does somebody else want to be communicated with or managed or directed, it really is a pretty central quality of what it takes to be a leader. Whether you are a member of the team trying to emerge as a leader, or you are actually by title managing another team, I think it doesn't really matter, because you always have to think about what the other person's preferences are in order to reach them the most effectively. So start with yourself. What are your own preferences? Excuse me. What's your own style of communication? How much information do you like to have at the beginning of a project? How do you like to be checked in with, given feedback? All of those sorts of things. Check in with yourself. What are your own preferences, so that you get an understanding of what your stylistic approach is likely to be. Then flip it around to the other person. Ask the same questions about them. What is their stylistic approach likely to be? How are they going to hear information? How will they respond to being checked in with? Or will they feel like they're being checked up on? So again, just think about it. And if you don't know the answers to some of those questions, have a conversation. It's really that simple. Schedule time for the purpose of saying, you know what, I just really want to clarify how we can best work together and support each other on this project. Or if you're their manager, then just in general, I want a better feel for how we can keep in touch about priorities and deadlines and things like that while we're working remotely still, or at least part-time remotely. So just ask those questions. How do you prefer to get feedback? How often do you want to get that feedback? I need to be kept up to date on what you're doing, but I don't want you to feel like I'm smothering you or micromanaging you. So let's figure that out together. Let's figure out what works best for you and what works best for me, and then come to some agreement. Honestly, the more agreements you can establish up front, the clearer the road will emerge of how you can effectively work together. So again, more information and strategies can be found in the blog post from this week. Check it out on our website or social media platforms. And we'd love to hear your comments. We'd love to hear about your own experience, so feel free to share those. And in the meantime, especially if you're in Southeast or mid-Michigan, it is damn hot outside, so stay cool, stay connected, stay safe, and above all, remember to be kind. Have a great week, everybody.